So, today I'm going to be talking about Bird Questions and Answers by Cornell. In this app, as you can see, there are multiple sections for you to look at. Under Cool Facts, you can look at how fast birds can fly, for example. And the answer is that it really depends on what bird you're looking at. You can just scroll through on this top bar, and the next section is watching birds. Here's a sample question from that. When it's hard for you to get around and you just want to attract birds to your yard, how do you do it? Well, one of the best ways is to provide water for them. A lot of people overlook the importance of water. They like to have clean drinking water and baths as much as we do. There's another section called Feeding Birds. And in it, you can look at, for example, what's the best seed for feeding birds. And really, it depends on what you're trying to attract, what you should put out as seed. But to get the most birds, it's usually sunflower. You can also look at the fact or fiction section. Like this one is a commonly asked question. If you touch the baby bird, then the parents won't like it because of the human smell. But birds actually don't care about the smell. So if you find a baby bird on the ground, you can pick it up and put it back in its nest, and the parents will continue to care for it anyhow. Under bird songs, you can learn all different kinds of things. For example, how many songs can a bird sing? And the most songs that a bird can sing is around 2,000. And that's for brown thrashers who will mimic other birds' songs. The next section is on behavior. So, let's say you saw a killdeer and it looked like it had a broken wing or something. The bird was doing that to keep you away from its babies or from its nest. So you have to be careful when you're walking around and you see a killdeer doing that, or if you're mowing, because you don't want to hurt the babies or the eggs. There's another section called Migration, and that has a lot of really good questions and answers about birds, because not many people know much about migration. And then, for the nesting and eggs of birds, like I said before, the best thing that you can do for a baby bird if it fell out of the nest is to put it back up in the nest, unless it can fly or is very close to being able to fly. Then you can just put it back up in a branch that's pretty far off the ground so that it won't get eaten by anything. There's another section called Feathers and Flight, and it's filled with all these excellent questions about birds' feathers and how they fly and everything. Then there's another section that's miscellaneous things, but they're still really, really good questions. For example, do birds see colors? And yes, they do. They can actually see more colors than we can. Then there's a section on how you can help birds. And that's really useful. And there's another one on solving bird problems. For example, if a bird keeps crashing into your window, they suggest that you put up streamers to scare off the birds, because they won't like those. So they won't crash into the windows and hurt themselves anymore. There's also a slideshow mode, where you can just look at all the pictures that they have in this app of birds, and then, if you see a bird you think is interesting, you just tap on the screen and the name will show. And last, there's a quiz section, and you can try to identify the images of birds. And as you can see, there are all different levels. There are 3 different levels. So for Hotshot, that's the really, really hard birds, and for Novice, that's for people who are just getting into birding. So let's try that. And there you go. There's also a section on song identification and the bird facts that I was showing you earlier. So you can go back and take a quiz on those and see how well you remembered all of that. It's a really, really interesting app because it has all of this information in such a small space, and it's often overlooked because people don't think it'll do much, but it does a whole lot that's really, really cool. So anyhow, thanks!